So Nikon just had their big week with their mirrorless camera announcements, the Z6 and Z7, Z6, Z7, and they're, and they did pretty well. I mean, they could have done a bit more. There was the whole one card slot controversy, which was just blown up for clickbait, and they came in at a decent price point for everything, but their lenses were a little lackluster upon their announcement as well. But everyone's been waiting for Canon. Canon has always been putting off what they were doing. And I think they're timing this right. And they always wanted to get it before Photokina, so that way they have something to show, and they should be showing it now. So it's not fully official right now, but we pretty much have everything we need to know with the official leak and everything from Nokashita as usual, especially with the Canon stuff. They're always very accurate. Canon Rumors reports it as well. But we pretty much know what the new Canon mirrorless full-frame camera is going to be, the Canon EOS R. So we'll be hearing about this in just a couple of days, September 5th. And the funny part is I filmed a Q&A video. Someone asked me about what I wanted in the new Canon mirrorless. And in that I said essentially something between like an M6 and like a 60 or a 5D Mark IV. But you'll be seeing that on Monday, all depending on when you're watching this. So it's going to be interesting to see the official announcement and everything in here, because I'm actually very excited for something like this. Nikon, to me, did probably a C plus with their announcement. This one, I'll kind of rate maybe around maybe a B and kind of go over that. What do we know? It's being reported that it's going to have a 30.3 megapixel full frame sensor, which is obviously great. And it's going to have a lot of the key features that you currently get in Canon's lineup in here as well. Dual pixel AF, that is the biggest thing that Canon has, in my opinion. It's one of the best autofocusing systems out there. And the way they shape this camera, the EOS R, is that it's basically it should probably be one of the best vlogging YouTube type cameras out there, as well as pretty much doing professional work for the most part. It's also going to have 4K video. We're not sure the frames per second yet or what kind of codec it's going to use as well. So hopefully they don't use the cruddy motion JPEG, the inflated size of that with something like this, that they actually use something more useful. So we'll see, because currently that's what they use in pretty much a lot of their 4K stuff that they offer. And the body itself, if you look at it, pretty much looks like it's an in-between of an M50 and probably the 6D Mark II. It's a thicker grip than some people might like for mirrorless, but it's still pretty small for what it is. And it's 580 grams, which is about 1.2 pounds. And if you compare that to like a 5D Mark IV, which is 800 grams and it's about 1.8 pounds. So, it's not a full pound difference. It's close, but 1 pound can make a difference to a lot of people. Once again, I don't mind the size of a DSLR, but to some, that could be a turn off or a turn on. Also, what's cool is you have the updated top screen, which you've seen in the Fuji X-H1, the Nikon Z cameras, and you have it up here as well. It's going to be bright. You're going to see it outside. It's going to display everything that you need, and it is the updated version of this. It doesn't look like some Casio top screen, which some people have an issue with, which I didn't as well. It showed the information. I didn't care what it looked like. You have eyes, you could look at it. The claim right now is that it's going to have higher dynamic range compared to a lot what's out there now, what a lot of people do have an issue with. And I've noticed that Canon isn't fully up there with their dynamic range, especially compared to Sony, Nikon, and Fuji. But they will also have one of the first full-frame mirrorless cameras that has a fully articulating touchscreen. So you're going to get the flip-out screen, which basically a lot of people want, and that would be a great thing for them to do. They did that with the 6D Mark II, even though they had a lot of misses with that camera as well, but they're one of the first full-frame DSLRs to do that as well. So you get the screen, it's a touchscreen, fully articulating. Yes. You will have a headphone and microphone jack, so that way you can monitor and record your audio. That's all you need. A lot of people who love video need that headphone jack, and it's included in this, and that is great. Magnesium alloy build, so it's going to be very reliable. Not fully sure if it's weatherproof yet, but it is like dust and drop resistant or whatever they called it, so pretty much you'll be fine with whatever it is. And the great thing is that it will use the LPE6N battery, so pretty much any battery you have right now will work with that camera, your chargers, and that is great. They were sticking to something that they know runs well, but we'll see the tests and how people react and overreact to battery life with that. Really, to finish off, what we know is that they will also have an adapter, of course, for this stuff. You cannot use the native EF lenses. You will have an EOS EF adapter to EOS R, so you will be able to use with that adapter, to that camera. So that way, if you have current lenses, you'll be absolutely fine with that. I'm going to talk about the lens lineup in a second, but here's the kind of things we either don't know or the downsides. From the pictures that we see as well, it looks like it will have one memory card slot. We're not sure what that's going to be. My guess is that it will most likely be SD. Somehow, maybe the slot looks too small to fit a CFast in it, which I expected that they might use. But if they go SD, one card slot, that's going to obviously be a big downfall to a lot of people. So it's once again, they really picked their poison on this one. Dual pixel, the fully articulating screen. It's kind of like how they handled the 6D Mark II for the most part. And it's just like, oh, you're omitting some of the most important things. And there was the whole debate around the single card slot. I don't care. But it does depend on what you want to do. Personally, I've had two cards fail on me. One just corrupted in the camera, and one when I dropped a camera before because of an incident. It did corrupt one card, but I did have a second slot that was unimpacted, and I was safe. So there's definitely a need for a second memory card slot, 100%, but it depends on what you're doing. In my street photography stuff and just going out for fun, I don't care about a second card, but if I'm on a pro gig, I like it. Does it make it a pro camera or not? That's the debate. And we're not doing that here. Really, the things we're kind of missing is, will there be in-body image stabilization, or will it be electronic like in the M6 line that they currently have been doing with the mirrorless stuff? We don't know the price. We don't know what's reasonable. The Z6 is $2,000. The Z7 is about $3,400. So we will see how that goes there. But also RIP to the control wheel, which a lot of us really love on these cameras, but they probably didn't have room for that. And I think Canon right here did a better job with the lenses that they're being announced that they will be coming out with shortly after all these announcements. And they have a couple right here. They have the RF35 1.8 IS macro. So you're getting a good prime lens and a macro off the back, which is great. A 24-105 f4L. So still using the L to determine their lens lineup and their more pro line. IS USM, ultrasonic motor. The RF50 1.2L, so you're getting another good prime there. You're also getting a 28-70 f2L. Now, why not a 24-70? I don't know. They probably could have made it, but 28-70 is also pretty good for something like this. And once again, you're on a full frame body. The lenses look good. They look like they're going to be a little bit thicker and a little bit longer than people might like for mirrorless. But once again, a complaint that Sony has against them is that their lenses are rather large. Some of them are rather large in their pro line, and it kind of defeats the purpose of a mirrorless camera, which I see, but that's also not a real argument in my opinion. Which I see, but you need those lenses, and that's how you're gonna go. You can't always just have the most minimal thing on there, expect everything from it for a cheap price. It doesn't exist. So with all this, I'm going to update down below once everything is officially out. I just wanted to tackle everything because we pretty much know everything. To me, this is almost an easy buy for someone like me, especially when I have the M6, which I would obviously sell to get something like this. Depending the price point, it's probably going to be above $2,000. I'm hoping somewhere in between $2,000 to $3,000. $3,000 on the high end is a little for me. I'm hoping it's around $2,500, so somewhere between $2,000 to $2,500 is what I'm thinking. Probably $2,499, hopefully. But if they go like $2,799, $3,000, I could see it as well. And that's not too unrealistic, but that's still a lot of coin. But it looks like it might be semi-worth it. So with the lenses and everything we know right now, that's an easy like B for me. And I'll update everything down below. I don't think I'll make a second video list unless there's something more drastic announced. And everything will be down in the pin post below with the price and everything. And we'll go from there and more links. So what are your thoughts? Did Canon do better than Nikon? Did Nikon do a bit better? If you want to wait to discuss that for the official announcement, let's do that. But we pretty much know what the Canon EOS R is going to be, and I'm very excited to hopefully get hands-on with that, especially at Photo Plus, or maybe it goes on sale before then, and they ship. So we'll see that. Let me know all your thoughts down below. We have Fuji coming up, Panasonic, and Sony news coming up as well. So stay tuned, subscribe, and we'll cover that as soon as we know everything. All right, everyone. Have a great one. Keep an eye out.